Hello, everybody. Sanbonani, Dumelang, Abusheni. Hello, Etada. My name is Moeng. I'm really saddened not to be with you in person today for this historic launch of Action SA's first ever manifesto launch ahead of the general elections in South Africa, our beautiful South Africa. But I'm nevertheless really excited to have been added to the party's proposed Team Fix South Africa as its member for international relations. And I'm very appreciative of President Herman Mashaba, the Senate, and the entire leadership of Action SA for allowing me these minutes to talk to you about the party's proposed positioning, future repositioning of South Africa's foreign policy. Whether you're sitting at home in South Africa or across the world in the diaspora, you would have watched for far too many years, just like I have, the image of South Africa being battered where it could have shown. We have failed in too many areas where we could have led at home, across the African continent, and elsewhere in the world. We have led a foreign policy that too often has been driven by emotion, anger, an inexplicable attachment to a Soviet Union that no longer exists, that has failed. And across the continent, cowardice. Cowardice to speak out clearly against many instances of gross human rights abuses by African leaders. It's almost like we have exported in Africa and in other parts of the world this toxic habit of defending the indefensible. We have made friends go away from us. We have made enemies where we could have made strategic alliances, lasting strategic alliances. There have been too many instances when we have ignored the daily pain of our own people and countless fellow Africans suffering under the repressive regimes in their own countries. And we did all of this in the name of African brotherhood, defending those who look like us. We seem to find it easier to speak out for human rights when the abusers of such rights do not look like us. That is cowardice. While being involved in the fight for human rights in other parts of the world is the right thing to do, because that is what should underpin South Africa's foreign relations, it cannot be right to do so while we neglect the pain faced by our own people in their daily lived experiences. The seemingly unstoppable degradation of daily life in South Africa is a sure sign of government neglect, either way one looks at it. Action SA's foreign policy will be grounded in human rights and human rights considerations. We will look and speak out for the protection of the most threatened communities around the world, whether the rights under threat are based on race, gender identity, ethnicity, religion, or other grounds. But we intend to dedicate a lot more of our resources on improving the quality of life for South Africans at home. It would not make sense to expect South Africans at home and in the diaspora to fully stand behind government initiatives, especially those of attracting tourism, foreign investments, and other lucrative partnerships around the world, when their own daily hardships and those of their loved ones continue to be neglected by government. In looking to the future, we must acknowledge the centrality of the broader African continent in our international relations strategy. South Africa, as a key player on the continent, must foster a pan-African outlook, promoting unity, peace, observance of human rights, socio-economic and political cooperation throughout the continent. It must also not be afraid to lead on key rights issues, where some of its African peers might seem to be reluctant to do so or unwilling to do so. As Action SA, we intend to strengthen South Africa's commitment to multilateralism, which adheres to a rules-based international system, respect for international law, and the primacy of diplomatic engagement. With our country's legacy of overcoming divisions and fostering unity, we must once again stand to reclaim our place as an advocate for resolving conflicts through dialogue, negotiation, and mediation, without bias in favor of the villains, irrespective of who those villains are, irrespective of whether they look like us or they don't. Economic policy will be at the forefront of our diplomatic relations. As we move forward, South Africa will seek to build robust economic partnerships that would be grounded on mutual benefit and focused on fostering innovation, technological advancements, and skills development. We will leverage our strategic geographic position and rich resources to foster regional economic integration, improve connectivity, and facilitate trade and investment. Ladies and gentlemen, the road ahead will not be without its own challenges. However, grounded in the principles of Ubuntu, emboldened by the example set by Nelson Mandela, and guided by a vision of a united, prosperous, and peaceful world, South-South cooperation, and a global alliance building effort, South Africa will seek to influence global decision-making processes and advocate for reforms that address the existing debilitating imbalances in international bodies such as the United Nations Security Council and other institutions where some parts of the world seem to be more equal than others. Ultimately, our vision is founded in the aspirations enshrined in the preamble of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa for our country to strive to build a united, democratic South Africa able to take its rightful place as a foreign state in the family of nations. I look forward to being part of this exhilarating, inspiring policy positioning, and I look forward to working with all of you and my fellow leaders in Team Fix South Africa and President Herman Mashaba. I thank you.